due to Cabinet's intervention to ban the use of glass bottles during the Carnival season. This ban, as well as the early end time for Carnival outlined by the Minister, will require an amendment to legislation, specifically the Carnival Proclamation. Staying with Carnival news, the San Fernando Carnival Committee crowned a new Band of the Year for 2019. Fireworks Promotion was declared winner of the coveted competition by Mayor Junior Regrello on Thursday morning. The mayor said it was the first time since 2003 that participants were able to receive their prizes on the Thursday after Carnival. He, however, lamented that the sum of $233,750 allocated by the National Carnival Commission was insufficient for the mass in the southern city.
This is the copy of a check for $233,000. This is what we have to run San Fernando Carnival with. And this is not just hearsay, but this is the facts. When you look at $7 million to run Tobago Carnival, and who knows what Port of Spain gets. And Port of Spain does not have what we have in San Fernando. We run a parallel carnival in San Fernando. Port of Spain shows are subsidized by NCC.
Multiple title holder Kalicharan failed to qualify for the competition after the band boycotted the judging point on the basis of congestion on the route and safety for its masqueraders. Mayor Regrello contended that all stakeholders agreed to the route at planning meetings held prior to Carnival. He said having the Carnival on Harris Promenade meant the Carnival Committee could curtail costs on infrastructure. Mayor Regrello pointed out in 2018 the Carnival Committee had $400,000 for San Fernando Carnival celebrations, but he admitted bands only received prize monies for 2016 and 2017 competitions. He told band leaders who were protesting over non-payment for 2018 where to take their complaints.
And those who want to protest, my advice to you, go up to Stanmore Avenue, outside NCC, and make your protest there. Because not passing Harris Promenade, not hurting San Fernando Carnival Committee, it's hurting the people of San Fernando, who have contributed to your band and your welfare, and the success you have acquired and achieved over the years is through the people of San Fernando. And those who come out here and sit down on the bleachers expecting to see a presentation from you, you deprive them of that. You didn't do me anything. If you think that you have an issue, your real issue is the NCC.
To sport now, Cricket West Indies officials are breathing a lot easier now that a deal with Sky has been reached in principle, which will see the regular broadcast partner produce and carry the final two T20 internationals with England over in St. Kitts. Sky's coverage of the two matches were in doubt when they refused to pay the almost $2 million to carry the matches, which they say were not part of the original contract, which they signed off on back in 2012. But after some intense negotiations, the Sky equipment and personnel flew to St. Kitts last evening, suggesting that a deal is in place for the remaining two games, which was much higher than the original $150,000 each Sky wanted to pay. And that was News Now on TTT. I'm Mahalia Joseph Wharton. Have a good morning.
Good day, sir. Are you aware that you have committed several traffic violations in the last 30 seconds? What were you doing on the shoulder? To top it off, you exceeded the speed limit, you ran the red light, and you endangered the lives of others. Road safety is no child's play. Driver's permit and insurance.
Reach further when you advertise with TTT. Sweet 100, Next 99.1, and Talk City 91.1 FM. Whether it's television, radio, or social media, our stations belong to the only broadcast network with 100% coverage across Trinidad and Tobago. That's a fact. From Port of Spain to Point Fortin, Crown Point to Charlottesville, every household in TNT can easily access our signal. TTT remains the only broadcaster with live capability from multiple locations in the country, making us the most dependable source of information for events of national importance. Find us on any smart device at TTT Live Online. Are you ready to reach further with your advertising? Contact our sales team now. Call us at 622-4141 at extensions 2601 to 2607 or email us at sales@ttt.co.tt.
Bobby, why not wear the seatbelt?
Gosh. Hello? Yeah, girl. I get it dressed.
Bobby, you're not supposed to be talking on the phone.
Gosh. You know, you're right. Here, that's not girl. I'll call you back. I ain't have my headset. Alright? We go talk.
Bobby, you're driving too fast. Bobby, you don't love me anymore. Bobby, why are you risking my life?
Oh, gosh. Sorry, baby. I didn't realize I was driving so fast now.
Be road safe.
Stay connected with what's happening in the region and Latin America and view Caribbean Newsline weeknights at 10 p.m. followed by news from the South at 10:30 p.m. on TTT.
Maximize your impact when you advertise on TTT Live Online. With TTT Live Online, your brand can be seen by viewers in TNT and all around the world via our social media pages. Our audience is growing every day. TTT Live Online has reached over 260,000 followers across Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can bet they're watching. Our statistics show the live stream of the Now Morning Show reaches tens of thousands of viewers each day. Our news and entertainment pieces draw hundreds of thousands of views across all platforms. And you have an opportunity to be integrated into or featured alongside all this amazing content. Are you ready to maximize impact? Contact our sales team now. Call 622-4141 at extensions 2601 to 2607 or email us at sales@ttt.co.tt.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, Universe. Good morning to all of you out there looking at us on Facebook right now. Good morning to you. This is Lisa Wickham alongside Carrie. Good morning, Carrie.
Good morning, Lisa, and happy International Women's Day.
Thank you very much. Today is International Women's Day, being commemorated all over the world. And as a matter of fact, we're dedicating this program to women wherever you are, whatever strides you're making, because our entire show, Carrie, we are featuring and showcasing the talent of women here in Trinidad and Tobago and around the world.
Oh, that is absolutely fantastic. According to Rishi, he would definitely say that, and definitely something to look forward to. And as we can see already, we have some art behind us, but I know we'll get into that into a little bit.
As a matter of fact, our artist in residence already on set, and she is just coming here, as you know, as a strong woman. She says, "This is my set." You know, I walk in with my art. So it's all about. Good morning, Anika Plowden. And Anika is going to be showing us how to upcycle your costume.
That's very interesting.
Yes,
Anika. I love things like that.
That's what we're doing, right? Yeah, so we're going to be coming back to you and you talk, as you tell us about that, but you've beautified are set with your works of art. Thank you so much. And today as well, we are going to be talking to a number of people, as I said, here in Trinidad and Tobago, but by Skype, via Skype, in Berlin and in Spain and in Tobago, and so many things happening around the world with Trinbagonians and some of my friends as well.
Right.
That we can Skype in and see what they're doing.
Yeah, it's always fun checking in all around the world, and you know so many people in so many different places doing so many different things, and to
I would have
be in the know,
loved,
that would have been
loved
great.
to have some of my friends, Marianne Mandishona, who is a strong activist in South Africa, and she's actually busy doing that right now, so
Okay,
she's not coming
all right.
in. And Paki, who you guys met when I went to Berlin. I think I spoke with her from India.
Right, yes.
She ended up in hospital, food poisoning.
Really?
I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
so, but we still have Yasica Aguilera, who is one of the youngest women in technology to be featured in Fortune 500.
Wow.
We're going to be chatting with her a little later on in the program.
And find out her secrets, and
I don't know if she's going to tell you that, Carrie.
What did it take to get to where she is now?
Yes, well, maybe a little bit. Maybe a
Little
little bit. We also have coming up our very own Dr. Megan Sylvester, who is always a pleasure to chat. A little powerhouse, I've been
Right.
following her. She doesn't know this, but I've been stalking her for years. Yeah, she's in studio already. There she is. Give us a little wave. You're on camera. I've been stalking this lady for years
Right.
because she's so talented. Even before she was Dr. Megan Sylvester, while
Right.
she's doing her work. So we're going to be chatting with her first up this morning. But another power woman, Carrie, went on Instagram for the first time yesterday.
Really?
Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth.
Queen Elizabeth herself.
Yes, to
Wow.
Instagram
Well, look
yesterday
at
for the
that.
first time. Do you think it's really the Queen, though?
Now, of course, there'd always be speculation, but who knows? It could well be her.
You think so? Really? I'm not
With the
too
best
sure.
English ever,
Yeah.
in all her posts and hashtags.
Yes, yes. As a matter of fact, I'm actually very tickled by the fact that, you can see, like, let me not tease her. But you know what I'm excited about?
What's that?
We have these little vignettes that we did with our ladies here of TTT.
Right.
And you see the faces in front of the camera. We decided to go behind the people who are behind the people in front of the camera. So
That's great,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, so we have people like Betty Cabral, who is our executive assistant, and Miss Erna, as most of the staff like to call her.
Right.
She is in HR, and we're going to be showing you some of the videos throughout the course of the program, and then keep doing more and more of them, so you get to see some of the ladies of TTT. Just giving their thoughts
that's
on
great.
what International Women's Day is about.
I know what it means to them.
Yes.
Right, that's
Isn't
great.
I thought that was really
Yeah, I know. I definitely, I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, before we get carried away, yes, let us go to traffic update and see what's going on in traffic. Maybe there might be a little bit of traffic on the roads now. Who knows?
Maybe there might be. So let's take a look at this traffic update.
Today's traffic update is made possible by TrafficTT.com and sponsored by Ultimate Solutions Limited. We make it happen.
And we're on the Beetham Highway right now, and as we zoom in there, we can see that it's very slow movement just before the traffic light, heading into the city of Port of Spain and the western regions of the country. As we pan across here, we can see what the other lane looks like, and they have a free flow, but a little bit more vehicles than usual at this time of morning. At this point in the westbound, we can see that there are quite a lot of vehicles right now, and it's starting to build up and get some congestion. So hold on to your hats, everybody. For those of you heading into the city of Port of Spain, you have a little bit of a sticky one to face right now, but hopefully it clears up later on, and there'll be smooth sailing into the capital. At this point in time, we want to keep you updated, but remember, if you're leaving home right now and you're going to head out onto the roadways into this traffic possibly, you can take us with you on Talk City 91.1 FM, where we can keep you company, keep you entertained, and keep you informed, and be your company there in the traffic this morning. All right, and that's a wrap for this traffic update.
Made possible by TrafficTT.com and sponsored by Ultimate Solutions Limited. We make it happen.
Well, before we go any further, Carrie, I just want to say a special thank you to Ayinka, who held on yesterday.
Right, yes, and
I love her.
Yeah, she's great. She's
Yes.
great. I had so much fun with her yesterday. Definitely a different approach. She has a different vibe.
She just brings the energy,
Yeah, she does.
From the time I saw her, she auditioned, last year.
Right.
When TTT did the auditions, there were like about 200 and so,
Mhm.
and so auditions. From the time I saw her tape,
Right.
I was like, wow, this girl just has that extra joie de vivre. You know?
I like that, joie de
vivre. And we're going to be seeing more of her, definitely on the program. Before we go across to Abu Dhabi, we want to say good morning to Franca Pacheco. Good morning, Janice Schoon Robinson. You're in Tobago. Vicky Ramsing, good morning to you. Patricia Norega, Trisha Ramkisoon, Merlin Phillips, and Giselle Joseph. I just want to say Chris Permanent, Tara Lutchman, Lily Pound, Beverly Saunders. Oh my gosh, Lennox Matura. Good morning to you, Jennifer Gibbons Joseph. So many people locked on.
Yeah, but so many familiar names, you know, they're so loyal. We have some locked on every morning.
And we also have some new people as well, some names that we've never seen before, but stay with us. But right now we're going across to Abu Dhabi. Why? Do you remember when we had on Michael with us, right, telling us about going across to carry the torch?
Yes, Special Olympics team, right.
So we're going to deviate from the International Women's Day a bit.
Just slightly.
Just a little bit, because this is so important. Our Special Olympics athletes have reached to Abu Dhabi, and let's see the greeting that they received.
Thank you very much.
And don't forget smile.
Okay.
Thank you. Nice to have you. Take rest today. And tomorrow we are start to our country.
Well, we certainly want to extend all the best to our athletes there in Abu Dhabi. I know I'm not saying it correctly, yeah? I've been to Abu Dhabi, and we all say Abu Dhabi on this part of the world, but they say it like Abu Dhabi.
I don't know. Maybe I'll look it up online and try to.
I know you will, Carrie. I know you will do it definitely. Anika, how are we looking on that side?
Good.
We are good. Yes,
we are good.
You want to show us a little bit of what we're coming back to?
Oh, we have some costumes here from the winning band.
Right.
We have some more here.
Yes.
So sometimes my clients will tell me, listen, at the end of the season, they want to use what they have, and they bring it for me. So I have actually someone who literally brought it just she repackaged it
and
I'm going to upcycle it for her
during this program.
Yes, I am.
Wonderful. Okay, well, we're going to take in a few messages and come right back with Dr. Megan Sylvester after this.
Keeping with the world's energy demand, which is driving increased greenhouse gas emissions, TOSL has embraced innovative technologies over the past decade to mitigate against the effects of climate change. TOSL has proven itself as a pioneering and proactive engineering solutions company by meeting customer demands, engaging stakeholders, and complying with all environmental requirements. To demonstrate renewable energy and energy efficiency strategies, we have chosen to lead by example. This led to the conceptualization of a green building design that reduces the heat flow through the fabric of the building and thus requires less energy for the cooling or for the air conditioning system. This makes the cooling process much more efficient as compared to conventional system. The lighting fixtures to be used would be LEDs, which uses 50% less energy than conventional fluorescent lighting for the same lighting efficacy. And finally, with the use of rooftop solar, a peak power of 20 kilowatts can be generated and thus be utilized locally by the office building or be stored for later use. Globally, buildings account for 1/3 of our energy consumption and therefore has huge opportunities for energy efficiency. Due to various reasons such as our low energy prices, our subsidized energy prices, and our patterns of consumption. This initiative has shown that we can reduce energy consumption of a one-story office building by 50 to 60% with energy efficiency strategies alone. Then, by the use of rooftop PV, we can then reduce that net demand by a further 20%. And essentially, the CO2 intensity of the building can be reduced to roughly 70% with both strategies, which is the energy efficiency and the renewable energy strategy.
We need to remind ourselves that the ultimate goal is to reduce greenhouse gases and thereby improving the quality of life and the environment. What state will we leave the planet in for future generations? Barack Obama alluded to, we are the first generation to feel the effect of climate change and the last to do something about it.
Back in studio. It's International Women's Day, and today, all day on the program, we'll be celebrating excellent women of excellence here and abroad. And to kick things off, I have with me Dr. Megan Sylvester. Good morning.
Good morning,
Superwoman.
Lisa. Thank you very much for having me.
We are just going to put up Woman of Excellence under your name, because that is exactly.
Thank you.
You have done your PhD researching Calypso and the arts and cultural art forms and so on. Society, include the Society for Ethnomusicology. You're a member.
Yes.
We're going to talk about what that is.
Yes, sure.
I want to know what that is. You're a member of the board of TUCO and chair of the Education and Research Committee. You're an executive member of PLOT.
Yes.
You're a member of AFET. Yes. You hold positions on the CSA, that's the Caribbean
Studies Association. Yes,
that's a very important organization.
It is indeed. It is indeed.
You're chair of the Newsletter Committee and co-chair of the Digital New Media Network.
Indeed.
You're a music sociologist. How do you find time to do all of that? The question I get, but I'm throwing it at you this morning.
Compartmentalization.
I say that as well. Tetri. I say that as well.
The only way to get it done. The only way. Yeah.
But let's start. What is ethnomusicology?
Well, that is really a focus on looking at the cultural aspect of society, in particular looking at music in particular. Strictly speaking, I've been trained as a sociologist, and so I really have added music onto that. So I really see myself as a music sociologist, focusing on that. The ethnomusicology, of course, would be all of the conferences that I would go to where we would be dealing with issues related to that.
And a music sociologist, how do you use that in the world? How do you apply it?
Right. So strictly speaking, we're looking at issues of sociology in terms of identity, race, class, color, those stratification, those type of issues, and you apply an understanding of music to it. In particular, I look at the lyrics of indigenous musics, in particular Calypso and soca music. In particular, actually, I want to really stress a study that I am involved in, because we're talking about International Women's Day. I recently did a study on gender justice, looking at issues of womanhood and femininity. And I actually would have done some interviews with 10 women in Trinidad and Tobago across various musical genres like calypso, soca, gospelypso, jazz, and jazz fusion, just to name a few, to get a sense from them. How is it that they see gender justice being operationalized or realized in the music industry in Trinidad and Tobago? Issues of femininity, womanhood. How do males within the fraternity, this music fraternity, deal with them, treat with them, whether they are backup singers, whether they are frontline singers, whether they are musicians.
So this goes beyond even equality of remuneration.
Indeed. It's about perception.
Okay.
All right. It's about role. It's about responsibility. It's about the impact that women are having.
And
actually,
what did you find?
Interestingly, it actually varies, because I actually look at women in the rock music genre as well. What I found is that depending on the nature of the musical genre, so for example, calypso is a male-dominated space. You would find that the women have a lesser role. And so they accept, actually, the women that the men play that more dominant role.
But even when you look at Calypso Fiesta and you see so many strong females dominating, it's still within the entire genre. Male dominated, you say?
It's male dominated, generally speaking. Of course, we have more women coming out. We even have a Calypso tent divas that focuses basically just on women. It's a woman's Calypso tent. But what we find is that women sort of understand their role, and they play the role very wisely, actually. When you speak to them, they understand, okay, when I'm a backup singer, I actually fulfill the mandate, the role that I've been placed here to fulfill. But what really happens is that they understand that they get the opportunity, even though it's a male-dominated space, to shine. So the men actually give them that opportunity to shine from time to time. And it actually was a very positive study in terms of across the genres, women really shining and getting that prominence.
You said you did rock music. Was there a difference between rock and soca and Calypso? Did you notice any difference?
In terms of the responses of the women, all right? In terms of, so for example, I would have been dealing with women who were backup singers, right? In terms of their role and responsibility. How do they really see themselves as a backup? Because some of these singers actually, at times when they are the dominant female, they are the frontline singers. And when they are backup for other performers, you know, there was that juxtaposition of, how do I see myself? When do I shine? Because the interesting thing is not only male-male or male-female, it was female-female.
Right,
So it was very interesting in particular.
And how does that transfer into the wider society? Do you find that it permeates and develops or manifests itself in behaviors in the wider society? You know, because they say that some of the things that you see in these cultural spaces are microcosms of the wider society.
But what I find that's interesting is that we've just come from Carnival, yes, the greatest show on earth, and we have this display and this spectacle of women being dominant in this, you know, in the masquerade. And so it's interesting when I juxtapose that to the studies that I did. It's interesting to note that women play a different role as performers in the musical genre as opposed to when they are performing on the stage, on the road, in that particular environment. There's a different role. So we see a difference taking place,
but
actually.
Isn't it a bit of people say that women are being objectified in that role. But where is the power in that, based on your study?
Based on my study, I think that women assert themselves. They understand the power that they actually have as the lead performer, as the backup singer, providing that support system, and at other times leading the charge in terms of the music and the contribution that they make. Yeah.
All right, Dr. Megan Sylvester, thank you so much for coming and sharing. And this is hot off the press, right?
It is indeed.
It is hot off the press.
Yes.
What's the way forward for you?
Actually, I intend to continue with my publications in terms of making sure that the research is not only conducted, but that it is published so that people have access to getting a sense of what is happening with our music in Trinidad and Tobago.
But I want to thank you again for coming forward.
Thank you very much.
And I know that you're going to rest now because you're like me. We are night owls.
Indeed,
pretending to be early morning people.
Indeed.
So go get some rest.
Thank you very much for having me.
Happy International Women's Day.
Same to you, Lisa. Same to you.
And right now I cross over to Spain. From one powerful woman to another. On the line, Yasica Aguilera. Good morning, Yasica.
Good morning to you. How are you?
I am fantastic and so happy to see you again. We met at the Queen's Young Leaders in England and Cambridge University. And Yasica is the co-founder at TestPack and tech engineer entrepreneur. And at a very tender age of 24, started a smart technology company and has raised more than 2.6 million euros and concentrates in mobile energy solutions and so many technical things that we were chatting about that you were telling us your experience as a young, fabulous, beautiful woman in a male-dominated space. Tell us about that journey, Yasica.
Okay, well, as you mentioned, my journey started when I was 24 years old. Also, I didn't study engineering, which was a lot harder than if you would have studied. But then again, the adventure side of me kind of kicked in. My mom used to be an engineer, telecommunications engineer, so she used to go into those lampposts, climb, and she was the first engineering woman in Latin America. So she said, you should go for it. Even though it's out of your comfort zone, you should just do it. At that time, I had studied marketing. That was my expertise. So that's when I joined, and I must say, although it was scary in the beginning, but then, we became the best energy startup in Europe. We have won more than 30 international awards. I have also been featured by Forbes Under 30 twice.
Yeah.
So I must say it's been a thrilling experience.
Yes, because some of the things that your company, you mentioned, you've won more than 30 international awards, as you said. But some of your projects are really interesting, releasing patented ultra-fast charging technology. We were speaking about that, to recharge your phone battery in less than 12 minutes. First solar smart helmet for action cameras and testing equipment with astronauts and scientists, as well as collaborating to create the first solar backpack for Mars. Wow. So what is it like? Tell us about your experience working in a space where you are at the forefront of technology and still being a female in that space.
I think it wasn't just being a female. I think there were many factors. I think one of them also was being young. Starting 24, I think it's that kind of credibility where you have experience for it. The other factor as well was I'm from South America as well. You do know that in most terrible countries, unfortunately, there's this stereotype where women are supposed to kind of get married instead of kind of joining into this, into the technology market, let's say. But I think during my experience, something I have realized was that although the majority of people, actually funnily enough, I was posting the other day on Facebook about me looking into events 5 years ago and feeling like an alien. Because literally, I will be, me and my other co-founder, which is also female, full of a room of 100 men, which majority of times they would actually think that we were promo girls, unfortunately. But I think if something I have learned and the message I could actually share to women is more like the obstacles are not outside. If anything, they are inside. I think the obstacles are within our minds. So the moment that we start kind of taking those stereotypes ourselves and kind of saying that, gender, age, my ethnicity, or where I come from, none of those factors affect where I can actually go. Pretty much, there won't be any limits. In regards to technology, there's many books. You can actually just enroll to courses. You don't even need to be an engineer to be in the technology sector, because you have marketing. You can actually do research. You can actually do so many things that are kind of tailored to the things that you like. So yeah, so I would actually say go ahead, shoot it, and the rest will be history.
Yes, just go out there and conquer and leave your mark on the world, as you have done. As you've been recognized by Forbes 30 Under 30 twice as a disruptor in your industry, tech and energy, and the top 200 leaders of tomorrow globally at St. Gallen Symposium to debate topics with prime ministers, top entrepreneurs, and higher education. And you're also one of the Queen, just as I was, one of the Queen's young leaders, mentors from around the world. What was that experience like for you?
I think the experience is really thrilling. Every time I kind of go, as I have gone through those experiences, it's easy to kind of relate. And it's not that majority of people don't want to fix those issues, it's just that they can't relate to them. So I think it's we as women also play a major role in order to kind of highlight how things can actually change. So for me, getting involved in projects that affect society as well as the technology side, I think is very important and very crucial. So for me that's my goal and aim.
Well, Yasika, I want to thank you so much. We have to get you to Trinidad and Tobago, we have to get you across to Trinidad and Tobago.
And do you know what, I have my energy equipment. I can just literally be looking at the beautiful sightseeing and then just working there.
Yes. Well, we're going to make it happen. But I want to thank you so much. I want to say muchas gracias. Did I say that correctly? I'm more of a French person.
And you even put the Spanish accent spot on there.
I'm working on it. So, Yasika Aguilera, you're in Spain right now, but you're a citizen of the world because I can't keep up with you. 1 minute you're in London and 1 minute you're in South America somewhere. But the most important thing is that you keep working hard to empower women and to just make the world a better place. So thank you, Yasika Aguilera, across in Spain, and happy International Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day to you too, and to everyone that's watching as well. Have a good day, guys.
Wonderful. That was Yasika Aguilera there, Carrie. I saw that you were completely engrossed in
Yeah,
that
completely
interview.
engrossed. And definitely one thing she was saying that was really important was I realized the mindset she had. She didn't accept obstacles around her. That she said, despite where you come from, despite your gender, despite everything, that it's up to you to push forward and make it work and make
because
it happen.
she operates in a technology world and she hasn't studied engineering, huh?
Right, she studied marketing.
Yes.
Right,
yes,
so
all these disrupting. Her company has been a disruptor.
Right.
In the field of technology.
Yeah. So again, it shows a lot of I would like to use gumption to despite all these things, and again, it being a male-dominated space as well, for her to push forward, cut through and become that disruptor even within that space.
Yeah.
I
love her. She's a ball of energy, like a full ball of energy. We're gonna get her across to Trinidad because somehow. All right. So before we go to our very own Betty Cabral,
right?
Anika is there. She's all laid out. Can we just get a little bit of what you're going to be starting with first? Yeah.
So we're going to look at one of these costumes. We're going to do 2 costumes, and we're going to use the sequence on the costume to create a T-shirt.
Oh, yeah. I didn't expect that. I was going from the belt to the T-shirt.
No,
okay.
from the belt to the T-shirt.
Okay,
so what we're going to do is we're going to take out all the sequins.
Yeah.
And we're going to place it on the T-shirt. But before that, you need to have some tools.
Right.
You need tools. So you need a tweezer. You need your home brush. You don't have to go and buy expensive brush. You can use what you have at home. You need some glue. Or you can use the paint that you purchased to seal the back of the sequence.
Okay.
So we'll do step by step when you come over.
Okay, so when we come back from the break, we're going to start back with you. Carrie is a DIY man, so I'm going to let him handle this section. But here's Betty Cabral, our very own executive assistant.
Greetings on this special day, International Women's Day. It's a privilege to be a woman and to see where women have reached today, the positions they've held, and I'm very impressed and very happy, and I look forward to women moving forward and improving ourselves.
Dunamis Experience is a weekly presentation of the Montrose New Testament Church of God. It is Central Trinidad's fastest growing Pentecostal church. Here the Lord Jesus Christ is glorified and the congregation edified. Pastor B.A. Hamid has faithfully served this church for more than 4 decades. His weekly messages are powerful and anointed. Why not visit us and experience the difference in our worship services? Our church is committed to building your faith, your family, and your future.
JJ and Friends is mashing up prices this carnival. Get $500 off all JJ and Friends educational systems. That's right, $500 off any of our educational products. So take advantage of this offer while stocks last. JJ and Friends, mashing up prices for carnival.
Take that investment in their education and buy them all the jewelry and the toys later on, but ensure that you get JJ and Friends. It is really, really good.
So there you have it. A perfect solution, a great solution to educating your child in those formidable years.
I would encourage any parent to buy this product.
You are setting the future for your children.
I see a great improvement in my child.
I'm 100% satisfied with the JJ and Friends Phonics program.
It has changed my life. It has changed the life of my 2 sons.
I encourage you to do the same. Get this kit.
JJ and Friends, mashing up prices for carnival. For more info, call 800-READ.
The doors of the Kaiso Cafe open every Sunday at Talk City 91.1 FM. We play the best calypsos, interview the singers, discuss calypso history, and we invite you, the listener, to participate. Join us from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. every Sunday for the Kaiso Cafe on Talk City 91.1 FM.
From the small towns all the way to New York.
we're back here on the Now Morning Show right here on TTT, and it's time for a different type of DIY. We're upcycling some costumes into something new. So, taking something old into something new with Anika Plowden here. Anika Plowden. And we are making some progress here. And as I can see that you are like gluing and sticking the sequins in a very interesting pattern already. Tell me about the process of what's happening here.
Okay, so first we get the costume and we take out all the sequins from it.
Right.
It's relatively very easy. So you can pluck it off.
How easy are we talking? Could I do it?
Sure.
Well, this one you did halfway for me already.
Halfway.
Maybe I'll pull out another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're going to look at the color scheme that we're using. So
now, mind you, she made that look easier than it actually is. It's not that hard, but...
It's not that hard. It isn't.
But you're used to it. I'm the layman here. So
and my assistant for the morning. So we're going to get all our sequins, and you're going to get a blank piece, blank T-shirt. Consider it your canvas.
Right.
So your T-shirt is now your canvas, and we're doing wearable art. So we taking what we have and creating something that is wearable and beautiful that we can use.
And we've already started seeing
And we've
the beauty
already
of it, yeah.
started, yeah. So you're going to lay down the design that you choose. You can just do it arbitrarily. You don't have to put much thought into it. This is supposed to even be a relaxing process.
Yeah.
So you're not supposed to really like, oh my gosh,
And
I'm
stressing.
lining it. No, it's not supposed to be stressful. If it's
It's
stressful, you need
more
to stop.
therapeutic.
It's supposed to be very therapeutic.
Right.
And that's how I see art. So I'm going to ask you now that I've laid down some of these sequins for you to try to glue them.
All right,
It should be really
take a little
easy.
step up here a
Yes,
little bit.
please do.
Step
So
a
we
little
have
closer
this
to
one.
you.
Yeah.
All right, and as you said, I don't have to be as precise as a machine.
Once you're comfortable, your eyes start to adjust and you're able to put the pattern together.
Right.
So this is
Making
very,
a little bit of mess
that's
here.
quite okay. Any
But I'm
mess
gonna
can be
place this down
corrected,
here.
right?
Now, the thing is, I actually have a little bit of a knack for accuracy. I'm a little bit of a stickler for accuracy.
Wow.
So,
So you're ahead of the game already.
was that? No, not that. It's just that I wouldn't stress over it.
Oh, good.
I wouldn't stress
I'm
over
happy
it,
to
but
hear.
I try my very best to get things as accurate as I can.
Okay, great.
It's just something.
Doing a good
All right.
job.
Well,
so you're
thank
going
you
to
so
check
much.
and see which others need to be adjusted.
And stuff, but I do have a wonderful guest waiting for me.
Okay, so
Somebody I had not seen in quite a while, so I'm going to leave you to continue here, and I will jump in and be your wonderful assistant once more. But I'm walking over now to Abeo Jackson. Abeo.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. And how is your mom? Because your mom used to teach me back in the day.
She's retired and fabulous. I mean,
She has always been fabulous, and she has
Exactly.
always been a strong woman as well.
Indeed.
Yeah, so Abeo, tell me what's happening with you now. And this is our Leaders Up Now segment.
Right.
And you are a young woman leading the way in regards to different things. So let's speak about what you're doing now.
Well, I've recently returned from London doing my master's at the Royal Central School of Speech and Drama. My master's is in film. I've also been a theatre person.
Well, that's something I've known
exactly.
ever since.
An actor, a
Right.
producer, a dancer, a choreographer. My entire life. My first degree is in that. So now I've expanded from theatre into the realm of film as well.
And how has it been, going from theatre into film? Because I've spoken to people who have done that, and they said, it's a very different realms. I mean, it's still within the performing arts, yes, but there's a difference, a huge difference between theatre and film. So tell me how your experience was.
The skill is a little bit different in
Right.
terms of its approach, but the discipline in terms of as an actor,
Right.
as a director, is the same. But the skill in terms of how you would approach acting for stage as opposed to acting for screen is a little bit different. Whereas stage is very big and you
Right.
project and you have to hit the back of an auditorium.
Right, yes.
The screen is a box.
Right,
And it's
you know-
about the eyes and it's about the face, and it doesn't mean that you're rigid, but it's a much more concentrated form than per
That makes
se
sense to me.
theatre. Yeah.
Now, somebody who I spoke to before, they told me it was actually more nerve-wracking for them doing a performance in front of a camera versus doing it in front of a live audience. Sometimes there will be hundreds of people out there. And so to me, it's a little bit ironic that, when you could see the people right in front of you, you could probably see their judgmental eyes. They're right there, but like in front of a camera, then they're like, this is a little rough.
I think for me, it took me a minute to adjust to seeing yourself on screen.
Right.
It's a little bit easier to detach and turn off your third eye. We call it the third eye when you break that fourth wall and you really get sucked into the audience.
Right.
So it's a little bit easier to turn off that third eye when you're on stage for theater, whereas for film where you have playback,
right,
you become very critical of yourself. It takes a while for you to forget self,
right,
because of the fact that it's so close. But I think I love both forms for different reasons. Theater being that there's a magic that happens within a theater space of it being live and it being in the moment, and every
right,
night you discover something different, whereas screen immortalizes you forever. In a kind of a way, you know what I mean? So you love it for different reasons,
right,
and you discover different things as an actor within the two different forms.
Yes, so like you have done your masters abroad, and you have brought back all that knowledge and that experience here. What are you doing with it now?
Well, actually, I am planning now as a theatre producer. I have produced quite a few plays in collaboration with some of the best in Trinidad and Tobago. I have tutored and taught under some of the best in Trinidad and Tobago, but now I am stepping out in terms of Abeo Jackson Productions, doing its very first acting intensive for adults.
Right.
In terms of exploring both, it began as an intermediate, exploring both some of the theatre discipline as well as for screen, and diving into the Chekhov and Laban styles of acting.
I'll pretend like I know that.
Okay, so Michael Chekhov is this old Russian dude who came up with this, it's called a psychophysical style of acting, where it really depends on the use of imagination and impulse, as opposed to Stanislavski, who he studied on, which pulls on use of lived experiences and memory, which could be a little bit traumatic for an actor, particularly a new actor.
Right.
So Chekhov leans on imagination.
Imagination,
yes,
while the other
is really about
real life.
Yes, real life experiences.
Right.
And Laban was something that was originally a modern dance style. It still is, but in the acting world, we use the 8 Laban efforts to really explore movements and really becoming a character. It's between the time, weight, space continuum, that intersection, and really exploring removing yourself
and becoming
from self and becoming someone else.
Right, almost like channeling that character.
Exactly, because everybody moves. Each character moves differently, speaks differently from me, Abeo.
Exactly.
You understand? So I may be a little bit more of a glider, whereas a character is more of a flicker.
All right, Abeo, we're going to have to leave it right there. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll continue this conversation.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
News happens anytime, anywhere. And when it happens, we are there. We report the news in real time. TTT News. Connect.
Reach further when you advertise with TTT. Suite 100, Next 99.1, and Talk City 91.1 FM. Whether it's television, radio, or social media, our stations belong to the only broadcast network with 100% coverage across Trinidad and Tobago. That's a fact. From Port of Spain to Point Fortin, Crown Point to Charlottesville, every household in TNT can easily access our signal. TTT remains the only broadcaster with live capability from multiple locations in the country, making us the most dependable source of information for events of national importance. Find us on any smart device at TTT Live Online. Are you ready to reach further with your advertising? Contact our sales team now. Call us at 622-4141 at extensions 2601 to 2607 or email us at sales@ttt.co.tt.
women, we can do whatever we want. And what I mean by that is, if we want to be contractors, we can be that. But the glass ceiling, I think in this day and age of entrepreneurship, is determined by us. The sky is the limit.
Live here in studio. It's International Women's Day. I want to say congratulations to Abio on the work that you keep doing and that lovely personality of yours.
Oh, thank
you. Yeah, but you know you're a friend of the program, so you're going to be back
to
tell us all that you're doing.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes, definitely. And there's just one more thing we wanted to find out. When do the classes start?
So the classes start on Thursday. On Tuesday, it's Tuesdays and Saturdays for 6 weeks. Tuesdays 5 to 7 p.m. and Saturdays 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And if you're interested, people who want to try their hand at being an actor, you can email me at abeojackson@gmail.com. Super simple.
Awesome.
So all right, thank you very much. Right. We're going to leave it there while they hug on that side. I am going to cross over to Berlin to the International Tourisme, I don't speak German, boss in Berlin. Tobago has been absent for some years, but making a fantastic presence there this year. On the line with me is Chairman of the Tobago Tourism Authority, Dr. Sherma Roberts. Good morning.
Good morning from Berlin.
And how is it across on that side? Tell me about the successes that you guys have been having so far.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me on the show. Well, this is the first time for a while that we have been in the German market, so that in itself is a success. As you know, Germany has been one of Tobago's historical markets. There has always been a natural affinity between Germany and Tobago, and so we have come to ITV and received a very warm welcome. The Germans are happy to know that we are back in the market and that we are looking to increase business and that we are looking to build on existing relationships as well as find new partners.
And what about the airlift from Germany directly to Tobago? I know at one time there were many flights coming in direct from Frankfurt. Is that you working towards increasing?
Out of Germany, and the intent for the Tobago Tourism Agency is to grow arrivals out of Germany to Tobago and as well as out of Scandinavia.
Yeah.
Because as you know, the Scandinavian market is considered our the strongest market. Germany is our second and the UK is the first.
Yes.
So all in all, the strategy is really to increase arrivals and on island spend out of this part of Europe.
And in terms of the stock, the room stock, when you do the marketing that you're doing, would you have the room stock in Tobago to support? What's the plan there?
Yes, I'm not hearing you. Pardon me. Yes. Can you repeat that?
What about the room stock in Tobago? Would there be room stock following the marketing that's being done? The number of rooms, the hotel rooms. Okay, we're going to have to leave it there because of the quality of the video connection. Perhaps we can come back in the second hour and connect with our colleagues from the THA doing good work there in Berlin to represent Trinidad and Tobago, particularly Tobago, Carrie. Yeah?
Yeah, we love going across the Tobago every time, man.
But we were in Berlin just now.
We were in Berlin. Oh,
wake up. Were you sleeping? Was he sleeping?
I didn't have enough coffee this morning.
We were in Berlin. It's like we love going across the Tobago. I went across the Anika. Wake up.
So this is where we're at. We took the sequence off from the costume and then we placed it on the t-shirt.
Right.
And then we did some supplemental work to bring out that purple for International Women's Day.
Wow. So you created this with I remember we did something like this.
We did something like it.
Some time ago, yes.
Yes, we used something called slick, which is glue paint.
Yeah.
And you place it on the t-shirt. You can use swirls, you can use curls, you can take a line for a walk, or you can just make straight lines.
Okay.
It's all about enjoyment and relaxing.
All right, well, you with us?
While you were over with chatting on with your guest from Berlin, we also made a brooch.
Oh, fantastic.
This
Wonderful.
is for you.
Thank you. All right, well, while I put this on me, and probably not because this blouse is going to get torn because it's so soft, but I'll keep it. We're going to head over to the news and come back because we have an amazing program after the hour for you. Back in a minute.
With fixed locations in Arima, shops of Arima, Sangre Grande, and a mobile fleet operating throughout Trinidad, Classic Launderers and Dry Cleaners cater to the laundry needs of corporate and private clientele. We offer professional services in dry cleaning, wet wash, press only, heavy starch. We specialize in not only suits, formal attire, and uniforms, but also comforters, beddings, drapes, casual wear, and so much more. Book your free pickup today at www.classiclaundrytt.com or call 667-0309. We are always happy to be at your service.
Dunamis Experience is a weekly presentation of the Montrose New Testament Church of God. It is Central Trinidad's fastest growing Pentecostal church. Here the Lord Jesus Christ is glorified and the congregation edified. Pastor B.A. Hamid has faithfully served this church for more than 4 decades. His weekly messages are powerful and anointed. Why not visit us and experience the difference in our worship services? Our church is committed to building your faith, your family, and your future.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who really cares?
Who cares? I care, because I know that tobacco use is the single largest preventable cause of cancer-related deaths worldwide. Smoking cigarettes has been found to harm almost every organ and organ system in your body. You can do something about that. Don't smoke. If you do, stop. I care because cancer doesn't.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Mahalia Joseph Horton, and this is News Now on TTT. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is said to be in good spirits in California, where he has travelled to undergo a series of medical tests. On Sunday, Prime Minister Rowley hosted a press conference where he shared that he was due to travel to conduct tests after a 2016 coronary scan alerted his doctors to small soft plaque in one of his arteries. An update on Dr. Rowley's condition came during Thursday's post-cabinet media briefing. Acting Prime Minister Com Imbert said the Prime Minister has already completed one of the 3 tests.
He is then going for a second batch of tests in another part of California on Saturday, and a third set of tests on Monday. And what he's advised me is that after the results of the 3 sets of tests are in, then he will have a good idea of his situation. He's in good spirits.
No set date has yet been arranged for Dr. Rowley's return home. Carnival 2020 will feature significant changes, namely an earlier cut-off time for festivities on Carnival Tuesday, moving from midnight to 9 p.m., and a ban on glass bottles. At Thursday's post-cabinet media briefing, National Security Minister Stuart Young said the changes are intended to help make the celebrations even safer. Minister Young says he intends to make the change for Carnival 2020.
No one will lose out. It provides for more safety and security. It assists us with traffic, because one of the things we're always conscious of is getting people in and out of Port of Spain back to their homes in a safe and secure manner. And if we close off at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday night of Carnival, it just allows for more of that flow. Those 3-hour periods will not be lost. And when we look at the statistics, that is actually where a lot of criminal activity takes place for a variety of reasons.
Concerning the other proposed change, banning glass bottles, Minister Young lamented the fact that festival goers often resort to using the bottles as weapons, thus posing serious danger. In terms of rolling out the measure, he intends to engage manufacturers.
So when we have done an analysis, it really comes down to the beer bottles. So presumably it would be engaging those who manufacture beer in Trinidad and Tobago or package it, etc., to tell them, look, well in advance of Carnival 2020, see if you can increase your packaging into cans, which happens everywhere.
The proposed ban on glass bottles for Carnival is in no way a new idea. In 2012, then Mayor of Port of Spain, Louis Leasing, urged the Cabinet's intervention to ban the use of glass bottles during the Carnival season. This ban, as well as the early end time for Carnival outlined by the minister, will require an amendment to legislation, specifically the Carnival Proclamation. Staying with Carnival news, the San Fernando Carnival Committee crowned a new Band of the Year for 2019. Fireworks Promotion was declared winner of the coveted competition by Mayor Junior Regrello on Thursday morning. The mayor said it was the first time since 2003 that participants were able to receive their prizes on the Thursday after Carnival. He, however, lamented that the sum of $233,750 allocated by the National Carnival Commission was insufficient for the mass in the southern city.
This is the copy of a check for $233,000. This is what we have to run San Fernando Carnival with. And this is not just hasty, but this is the facts. When you look at $7 million to run Tobago Carnival, and who knows what Port of Spain gets. And Port of Spain does not have what we have in San Fernando. We run a parallel carnival in San Fernando. Port of Spain shows are subsidized by NCC.
Multiple title holder Kalicharan failed to qualify for the competition after the band boycotted the judging point on the basis of congestion on the route and safety for its masqueraders. Mayor Regrello contended that all stakeholders agreed to the route at planning meetings held prior to Carnival. He said having the Carnival on Harris Promenade meant the Carnival Committee could curtail costs on infrastructure. Mayor Regrello pointed out in 2018 the Carnival Committee had $400,000 for San Fernando Carnival celebrations, but he admitted bands only received prize monies for 2016 and 2017 competitions. He told band leaders who were protesting over non-payment for 2018 where to take their complaints.
And those who want to protest, my advice to you, go up to Stanmore Avenue, outside NCC, and make your protest there. Because not passing Harris Promenade, not hurting San Fernando Carnival Committee, it's hurting the people of San Fernando who have contributed to your band and your welfare, and the success you have acquired and achieved over the years is through the people of San Fernando. And those who come out here and sit down on the bleachers expecting to see a presentation from you, you deprive them of that. You didn't do me anything. If you think that you have an issue, your real issue is the NCC.
To sport now, Cricket West Indies officials are breathing a lot easier now that a deal with Sky has been reached in principle, which will see the regular broadcast partner produce and carry the final 2 T20 internationals with England over in St. Kitts. Sky's coverage of the 2 matches were in doubt when they refused to pay the almost US $2 million to carry the matches, which they say were not part of the original contract, which they signed off on back in 2012. But after some intense negotiations, the Sky equipment and personnel flew to St. Kitts last evening, suggesting that a deal is in place for the remaining 2 games, which was much higher than the original US $150,000 each Sky wanted to pay. And that was News Now on TTT. I'm Mahalia Joseph Wharton. Have a good morning.
When BP Trinidad and Tobago began operating in Mayaro, the community asked us to help them obtain access to tertiary education. The community was faced with several barriers to enter higher level education. There were no schools in Mayaro that offered A-level classes that were necessary to enter university, and students could not envision themselves as university students. As a result, BPTT partnered with the community to overcome these challenges. We developed the Focus program to motivate students to attend A-level classes. We enabled students to take the classes at the Mayaro Resource Center. We introduced a free bus service to transport students to schools where classes were available. In 2003, we formally launched the Brighter Prospects Scholarship Program to assist students with pursuing tertiary education. In the first year of the scholarship offer, only 3 students applied. However, more than a decade later, in 2015, the program has awarded 540 scholarships. To date, there are 222 Brighter Prospects graduates, and the program has a dropout rate of only 1%. We added 2 postgraduate scholarships after students expressed the desire to further their education beyond the undergraduate level. No other corporate entity in Trinidad and Tobago has adopted this model to develop the community in which they operate.
Belize as a destination. We have a biggest online in the world. We have a 13 million hit our online and 8 million viewers on Facebook. This is the very nice media briefing, and hope to enjoy and hope to come to your see your country.
It looks like a very interesting initiative. Of course, over here in Europe, we always think of the country as still being two islands together, and now that Tobago is going solo, so to speak, seems like an interesting approach. And of course, you've defined marketing positions that will resound well in Europe, pretty certainly, with marketing romance, beach, of course ecotourism, which is growing also in Europe, the attraction or the appeal of it when you decide about which destination you want to go on a holiday. So I think if you manage to really make Tobago known a little better even in the German-speaking countries, it's going to be a sure success.
It was very interesting and refreshing, I guess. I've seen a couple of Caribbean islands, but looking forward to go to Tobago after that presentation. Charming presentation by 3 of the representatives, so yeah.
It was really interesting to hear because I've never been to Tobago before. Unfortunately, I've visited a lot of the other islands of the Caribbean, but not Tobago, and I think it's a pity that I haven't had the chance to visit the island because with the unspoiled rainforest, I think, and the beaches, it should be a very good place to stay a little bit longer, not only to be there for a day with a cruise liner.
Some reaction there of persons in Berlin to the Tobago Tourism Authority's presentation on Tobago, welcoming guests, welcoming back guests from Germany to Tobago. And I have online Chairman of the Tobago Tourism Authority Agency, Dr. Shuma Roberts. Dr. Roberts, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah, so I see a little bit of excitement there that you guys created among the Germans and the participants of the International, help me with this, International Tourismus Boss, is that how it's pronounced?
Just about.
Just about. What does it mean what does it stand for in English? Is it a world travel market, sort of?
Exactly, International Trade Show.
Okay. So before we went to the news, I was asking you, with all the marketing that the Tobago Tourism Agency is doing, would you have the room stock to back it up in Tobago?
Well, based on our growth strategy, the intent is to grow this market as all other markets by 25% within 2019-2020. So based on that, we would have the room stock, but certainly we are looking to attract new foreign direct investment, and we have the tourism accommodation upgrade program where some properties see the need to improve the quality of their room stock. So we are putting things in place both from the marketing side as well as the product development side to facilitate our marketing efforts.
Okay.
But they have to go hand in hand.
Okay.
So that Tobago can be beyond ordinary.
Absolutely, because once you start talking room stock and flights, then you're talking of the value-added package, the overall cost.
Absolutely.
Why would they leave Germany or Europe when they can just go down to the Mediterranean, for example, to come to Tobago? But when you come back, you're going to tell us why. When you guys come back, I know you have with you Councillor Nadine Stewart-Phillips, Secretary for Tourism, Culture and Transportation, and an entire team. So when you return, let's have a conversation.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was Dr. Shuma Roberts, Chairman of the Tobago Tourism Agency across in Berlin, where I just came from.
Yes, exactly.
Everything seems to be happening in Berlin right now.
Right, I know, right?
Freezing cold. Yeah. Well, as we start the second hour, Carrie, it's International Women's Day, and we only have strong, powerful women on the show with Carrie. How you feel about that one?
I feel great about that. It is always awesome to be surrounded by empowered women who empower women as well.
Yes.
It's always great, and it's a good atmosphere to be in.
And we've had a spectacular program so far, bringing you strong women, empowered women, or women empowering other women, as Carrie says, from across the world. And speaking about strong women, Queen Elizabeth,
right?
Yeah, went on Instagram yesterday for the first time.
Right, and you were thinking of just the image of the Queen herself on a phone, just tapping away, adding hashtags.
Yes.
Hashtag Queen.
I don't know. It's just blowing my mind.
Yeah, I know, right?
But I think it's what you have to do now to remain relevant, because that's where we're communicating in the digital space.
Yeah, that's right.
In the digital space.
I'd follow the Queen.
I would follow her too. Yeah, I'm a monarchist, really. I tend to enjoy, finding out different things about the royal family and
yes,
so on,
yes.
over the years and so on. Not too much of an addict, but just very curious sometimes, But speaking about a digital sphere, we have taken some of our women who have been behind the scenes in TTT into the digital sphere. People like Betty Cabral, who's our executive assistant, and Erna, who's our HR officer, and Mahela. But Mahela is used to that. She's in the newsroom.
Right.
But certainly throughout the course of International Women's Month, we're going to be sharing some of our women and what they feel about International Women's Day with the rest of you in the digital world and on television.
Yes, always. They are oftentimes shining stars, but they are oftentimes behind the light. So it's great to have them put forward a little bit.
All right. Well, I know my director, and as well as so many people online, seem to like the little one we did with Erna. So let's check out Erna right now.
Women have seen the need to educate themselves, to hold senior roles in organization, and they are doing just that. We women can say we are proud of our accomplishment and what we have achieved in terms of acquiring senior roles in organizations.
That was Ernest Smith-Chokong, just a little bite.
Yeah, just a little
just
bit.
enough for social media, right? But in terms of traffic carry, what's going on the roadways?
All right, let's take a look at this traffic update.
Today's traffic update is made possible by TrafficTT.com and sponsored by Ultimate Solutions Limited. We make it happen.
I'm on the Monroe Road region right here on the Uriah Butler Highway, and we can see both ways are flowing really freely right now. That's good news and really unusual for this time of day. But for those of you heading out right now, going in both directions, north and south, going toward those regions of the country, there doesn't seem to be much of a pile-up, much backup at all. Surprisingly enough, there's a free flow heading northbound, which is usually at this time congested. But yep, we have the all clear, so no sticky roads at this point in time. And again, we'll keep you updated with the traffic situations around the country as we provide you with traffic updates. All right, and that's a wrap for this traffic report.
Today's traffic update is made possible by TrafficTT.com and sponsored by Ultimate Solutions Limited. We make it happen.
Good morning to our Facebook followers and viewers, Carol Chin, as well as those of you watching us on YouTube around the world. Fayola Rudder, good morning. Tara Lutchman, Antoinette Harry, Patricia Doherty, good morning to you. Beverly Saunders, yes, and we have Wendy Charles, Erlene Gaskin, Bunny King, Eileen Holder, Patricia Walker, did I call that name already? Maybe I did. Osborne King, I believe you're in London. Vancouver, Wayne Blake. Frank Pacheco, good morning to you. And in studio with us, it is our Friday. It feels like a Monday or a Wednesday, and that's probably because Monday and Tuesday is Carnival. But it's Friday, so we have our artist in residence, and it's Anika Plowden who's with us. And she's showing us how to upcycle the costume. So you've finished with one.
So I'm finished with one. So we used all the sequins, and then I added a bit of a dash of color. So we're looking, these are the colors that was used on the client's costume.
Right.
It was a teal or a light blue and a plum.
Yeah.
So we recreated it basically for them on their t-shirts.
And they can just throw that on with a pair of jeans.
Throw it on with a pair of jeans. They can use it for 365 days in the year instead of two. And they can use it to a lovely event or a simple event,
Before we go into the next costume that you're going to be working on, I know that you do some very important work with your art, which is surrounding us. Tell us about it.
Yes, well, I do a lot of work. My art in particular deals with women. They're all about women transcending difficult situations. So throughout all my pieces, you'll see either a singular figure of a woman, or you will see a woman surrounded by other woman.
Yeah.
And it really symbolizes the strength of women who have gone through challenges. And sometimes you really don't know what a lady is going through in order to achieve what she has. So Lisa, you would have had your own challenges and you would have surpassed, and now you're holding the hands of so many other women, and there's so many other women out there that are encouraged by what you do, by just seeing these figures. And particularly, I did a show at the Hyatt recently, and there was this lady, she went through breast cancer. And when I gave her this story about the single female figure and her ability to transcend, and her hands are always outstretched, and she's always thanking God, and her hands are always outstretched. Yeah, and she silently said, listen, I need to take this back home with me, because it really speaks to me a whole lot.
And your exhibition is at the gallery at Long Circular Mall?
Well, my work is at the gallery at Long Circular Mall, and on the 30th of March, there's a wine and cheese experience for the shelter for domestic violence. It's on the 30th of March at the Australian Ambassador's residence, and they're going to be auctioning off a number of pieces, and this is the piece that I have selected for that particular auction.
And this is all to support the shelter for domestic violence.
It is, yeah.
So you continue to do your work as well as support.
I also work with a lot of young ladies as well, helping them to use art as a means of therapy and relaxation, because you have so many young women who are very vulnerable and they go through so many challenges. And when you sit with them, sometimes they just need someone to motivate them and chat with them. Quite often, I invite my colleagues to come in and just share some of their experience with them and just, hold their hands through what we would have probably gone through and achieved.
All righty. Well, we're going to take a break and come back, because you're going to start with costume number 2. You're going to be upcycling. Can't wait to see what you're doing with this one, Anika. Let's take in a few messages. Come right back.
Did you know there is a limit to the amount of money an individual may bring into or take out of Trinidad and Tobago without making a customs declaration?
When nationals are leaving or arriving in the country, the law requires that you declare currency or monetary instruments in excess of $5,000 or its equivalent, or 20,000 TT dollars.
Monetary instruments include travelers' checks, promissory notes, bills of exchange and bank drafts. There is a stiff penalty for failing to declare amounts in excess of the limit, whether you are leaving or entering the country. So do the right thing. Declare currency or monetary instruments in excess of $5,000 or the equivalent amount in any currency, or 20,000 Trinidad and Tobago dollars.
TTT News. Connect.
Whether you are on the road or at the beach, preserve our beautiful nation of which we are proud by properly disposing of your waste. Because environmental pride is national pride.
Welcome back. This is Now with you all the way up until 8 o'clock. I am Lisa alongside Carrie. Good morning to you. And coming up on the line now, because it's International Women's Day. And as we promised, we're celebrating successful women, women empowering other women around the world. And I met this woman in Germany, not this time, not this visit, but a few years ago, maybe about 3 years ago, at an event that was being hosted by the Federal Republic of Germany for entrepreneurs from around the world. And I met Vicky Saunders, who is the founder of SheEO, as well as a serial entrepreneur. And we have the opportunity to have her online. Although she's from Canada, she's with us live via Skype from New York, very early in the morning. Good morning, Vicky.
Good morning. How are you?
I am quite okay, and I'm very happy that you're able to join us this so early in New York. Tell us a bit about the SheEO Foundation.
SheEO funds women entrepreneurs who have incredibly innovative businesses that are about creating a better world. Mm-hmm. And we do it in a really unique way. Women come together and they contribute capital into a pool. We pool all that money together and then we loan it out at 0% interest to these female entrepreneurs, and they get all of the hundreds of us who contributed money to also help them with connections, advice, building their networks, and being customers of their businesses.
Yeah.
And we started this in Canada 3 years ago, and we have about 4,000 activators, women who contribute capital from 4 different countries, and we're spreading quite rapidly around the world.
Yeah. And Vicky, what motivated you to start this fund?
I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, and it's very difficult to get funding and support as a female entrepreneur. There's just a lot of barriers in our systems. So only 4% of venture capital goes to women. If you're a woman of color, it's 0.1%. These numbers haven't really changed, and we needed to rethink the models that we have out there. So we basically started over again. If you were going to start again, how would you do this? And crowdfunding is a really great way to do this.
Yeah. And how do you go about selecting? I'd imagine you would be inundated by now with requests. How do you go about selecting which projects that would get funded?
So we have criteria set up. So, it changes in each country, but in North America, for example, you have to have at least $50,000 in revenue already this year when you apply. So you're already out there in the marketplace with customers. You need to be majority woman-owned and woman-led, and then be able to answer this question of how you're creating a better world. Mm-hmm. Anyone who fits those criteria can apply, and then you go on, all of the women who contribute capital get one vote. So you make your contribution of capital, and then you go in and vote. And so we trust the intuition of hundreds of women to select the kinds of companies that they really care about. Mm-hmm. Because when they do that, then they're more likely to help if they care about those businesses. So instead of trusting this tiny sort of expert panel, we trust the intuition of hundreds of women. And it's working out very, very well so far.
And do you find that you've had applications from persons outside of North America, for example, maybe Africa, the Caribbean?
We do this country by country. So we're operational in Canada, the US, New Zealand, and Australia at the moment. We've had emails from all over the world from people saying, please bring this model to our country. So when we get enough women from a certain jurisdiction, for example, Trinidad and Tobago, if there were enough women there who wanted to do this, then we would come. And you raise that money locally and fund local businesses, and then we connect you to the larger global network to help those businesses grow.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know we've been speaking since 2015 when we met in Germany, so you never know now how things might progress, because we have so many female entrepreneurs since that time emerging here in Trinidad and Tobago. So that's an offline conversation that we can have, Vicky. But in terms of successes, tell us a bit about your successes so far. Any standout entrepreneurs?
Yeah, so we funded 55 companies across the 4 countries. There's a woman who's created the Alinker, ALINKER.com. And if you go and Google that, she's redesigned the walker and the wheelchair for people who are losing mobility. You move this bike with your feet and it stabilizes you. It's just amazing, and it allows you to keep mobile for those who can still move but just need a bit of support. There's someone who's designed breathable food wrap. So all of our food wrap, when you have food left over, you wrap it with plastic wrap and the food starts to die because the air can't get in. She's designed this wrap that's breathable, and so if you wrap an avocado, for example, it stays green for 4 days. If you wrap anything else, like putting the rind back on a lemon, it lasts for 12 days. So these are a couple of examples. We have someone who's created an app for people to live more independently when they start to lose an understanding of what are the steps to, for example, go and take public transportation. People on the autism spectrum are using this app. Just a really broad selection: food security, artificial intelligence, education, health and wellness, literally all kinds of things. It's really amazing to see the diversity.
Very inspiring, Vicky. Let's talk a bit about you now. What's next for you? Because I know you yourself, you inspire so many women around the world.
I'm on a mission to get to 1 million women globally in $1 billion fund.
Yes.
These 0% interest loans are paid back over 5 years into the fund and then loaned out again. We have a 100% payback rate. And our goal is that we create this perpetual fund that will exist in your country for the next generation, so that your daughters and your daughters' daughters will be able to get funding for the great kinds of businesses that they have. This is the legacy we want to leave on the planet.
All success to you, Vicky. And if there's anyone who can do it, certainly it could be you. It would be you. And I want to say congratulations on the work that you've been doing so far. Thank you so much for getting up so early to join us here in Trinidad and Tobago. Vicky Saunders there. We're going to leave it there with you, Vicky, across in New York. And, of course, the CHEO Fund started in Canada. You see, Carrie, we have some powerful women across the world.
Definitely.
Yes.
And, I just love that initiative.
Yeah.
And, because many times women are not given the chance in this male-dominated world. And, things are, let's just admit it, things are not always fair, to different groups, and many times women are not treated equally. And so something as powerful as that, as providing that avenue that women, specifically women, can access funds to open businesses and be female-led, female-run businesses. It's excellent.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, we'll keep talking with Vicky and see what can happen here in Trinidad.
Yes,
and Tobago.
definitely. But I have another conversation that I'm going to start right now with Luann John, who is an author, and we're going to have an exciting conversation about the book that she has written.
Yes.
Good morning, Luann.
Good morning.
Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. So let's talk about your book. The name of it is As We Wait. So tell me the synopsis of the book. What is it about?
So As We Wait is a devotional for women desiring marriage. And Happy International Women's Day to all women everywhere. Basically, it's a book about, it's a devotional that I wrote during my journey of singleness, in terms of waiting and what you do while you're waiting. It's really good for women.
Waiting. So just
waiting
for
a spouse.
For the right spouse.
The right spouse. That's very important because along this journey of waiting for the right person, you sometimes meet the wrong person and you get into difficulties. So basically, all the things that I've learned over my waiting period, I've put together in this devotional with some scriptures to really encourage women, basically, more so those that have been waiting for a long time, women who are in their late 30s and they're thinking, am I ever going to get married? Women in their 40s and 50s who are desiring marriage. So it's really an encouragement and an inspiration for women.
That is awesome. So now the question is, what do you do as you wait?
Yeah, so that's all in the devotional, but I'll draw out some things I share from my personal experience, and I think that's the most important place and most authentic place that you can share from your experiences. So some of the things that I've done, one of the most important things that I've done during my journey of waiting for the right person was to develop my relationship with God. And I know sometimes that can come over as very cliche, but it's so important. Your spiritual foundation really forms the basis for your entire life, and once that's in place, everything else is going to fall in line. And I literally saw that when I put my spiritual life in order, good morning to my pastor, when I put my spiritual life in order, I found that everything else fell into place. And a lot of times we put more, especially us as women, we put more emphasis on finding a guy and making ourselves more pretty and trying to do a whole lot of things
to the physical.
Yeah, to the physical, to try and attract a mate and so on. And sometimes we neglect the most important, which is the inward and the spiritual.
And the thing is, by only focusing on the physical, you may attract those who may only be focused on the physical.
Yeah,
as
absolutely,
well. Yeah.
absolutely, and that's what happens to a lot of women. Sometimes they focus so much on the physical, and now the physical is important because men, as you would know, it's what they see. They have to see. You're very visual. So of course you have to work on the physical, and I'm very much into the physical, but I'm more into the work that goes inwardly. And as you rightly said, when you work on the inward, you're naturally going to attract someone on the same level with you,
right.
And that connection really does make a big difference to how your relationship turns out.
Would you say there's a lot to do with self-worth as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. When you begin working on yourself, when you begin spending more time with God and going on that spiritual journey, so many things begin to happen, and I share this in the devotional as well. You begin to realize things in your life that needs to change. You know,
right.
Many times you think, oh, I'm fine, nothing's wrong with me, but if there's a consistent pattern of relationships not working out in your life, then you can't look at the other person. You have to look inward, and there are things that need fixing.
Fix me first.
Yeah. So it's that journey of as women, and I thought today was just fitting to share with us women and just people in general that the work starts inside first.
That's something that resonates with me, definitely. You know, it starts with yourself, and then it could radiate outward.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you begin to attract the mate of your dreams,
right.
You know, and I don't know how many people believe in that and soulmates and things, but I do believe that as you work on yourself, you become ready, and then you really attract the person that's right for you. And, you know, it's like a puzzle. It really fits in, and it's satisfying. So one of the main encouragements in the devotional is that work on self and your relationship with God, which is the platform, a strong platform for the rest of your life. Yeah, the foundation.
The basis.
If your foundation is built on a rock, then it will stand. If it's built on sand, which is the case with us sometimes as women, it's not going to last, you know. And the thing with marriage is, you know, a lot of women desire marriage because marriage brings that sense of security to a woman.
Right.
So a man may not need that, but women sometimes need that. So sometimes you may be in a situation and living with someone, and I'm not here to talk about that, but basically I'm saying to the men that, you know, women need that for security and to feel a sense of worth. Yeah.
And one thing, you know, we're speaking about this book and all, but we don't have any book in front of us. Tell us why.
Yeah, of course. It reminded me of my dad when I wrote it and I published it.
Right.
I said, Dad, I wrote a book. He's like, where the book? So I'm showing him on my phone on Amazon. He's like,
right, so how can we find your book?
So it's an e-book that I do have a paperback version, but it's a e-version.
Right.
It's on Amazon, available right now.
As We Wait by
Luan John. So if you type in Luan John on Amazon, both versions, the e-version is going to come up, and the paperback version is going to come up, and you can, you know, purchase as you like for yourself and your friends.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Luan John. I wish
You're
you all the
welcome.
best moving
Thank
forward.
you.
And, you know, definitely a powerful message
Thank
going
you.
out there
Thank you
as
so
we
much.
wait. All right?
Congratulations, Luan.
Thank you.
Another powerful woman that we're featuring here on the program. And we go across to Tobago to a message for International Women's Day from the presiding officer of the THA, Dr. Denise Soifat Angus.
Think equal, build smart, innovate for change is the United Nations theme for International Women's Day 2019. And it asks us as a society, our women, men, youth, and even our children, to think critically about how we can make life better for women. As a result, this will lead to a greater stability in all areas of life, a more productive economy, stronger families, creating a legacy of transformation that benefits the next generation, the next, and the next. It is a ripple effect that benefits everyone, everywhere in our society. I take this opportunity to recognize a few women who have laid strong foundations of which we must not only be proud, but be inspired to achieve in our own spheres. President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Her Excellency Paula May Weeks, United Nations Ambassador Penelope Beckles Robinson, and inventor of the Udazzle fashion ruler, Rona Jack of Susulands, Tobago. In the Assembly Legislature, we owe to the female assemblymen of the past the recognition of being trailblazers in their field. Women like Bernadette Devines, Pearl Solomon, Utrus Thornhill, Dolores Edwards, and former presiding officer Mrs. Vanessa Cutting Thomas. There is a global movement for women's rights, equality, and justice, supported by the United Nations. But it means very little unless we do our part. And we are proud to say, currently at the helm of such a movement is the United Nations Ambassador Penelope Beckles Robinson. She leads the organization that is the very symbol of global change for women as the president of the board and chair of the United Nations Women's Organization. The theme calls on us to be activists. This means becoming a tool for change and fiercely resisting attitudes that hold us back from the objective. We can start in our homes, our communities, youth groups, schools, civil organization, and even places of worship. If you aren't already part of the change that impacts the lives of women, start today. Innovator and seamstress Rona Eastman Jack did not think her Udaza fashion ruler would have the impact it did. At 51, she made a dream possible after waiting a decade because she thought she could not do it. She did it, and you can too. The hashtag Balance for Better is trending for International Women's Day. It is a call to action for all of us to do our part in creating a better gender balance because that improves lives for all of us. Hashtag Balance for Better and be a part of the change today. Happy International Women's Day.
JJ and Friends is mashing up prices this Carnival. Get $500 off all JJ and Friends educational systems. That's right, $500 off any of our educational products. So take advantage of this offer while stocks last. JJ and Friends, mashing up prices for Carnival.
Take that investment in their education and buy them all the jewelry and the toys later on, but ensure that you get JJ and Friends. It is really, really good.
So there you have it. A perfect solution, a great solution to educating your child in those formidable years.
I would encourage any parent to buy this product.
You are setting the future for your children.
I see a great improvement in my child.
I'm 100% satisfied with the JJ and Friends Phonics program.
It has changed my life. It has changed the life of my two sons.
I encourage you to do the same. Get this kit.
JJ and Friends, mashing up prices for Carnival. For more info, call 800-READ.
If it matters to you, it matters to us. We report the news. News in real time. News across Trinidad and Tobago. Wherever you are. TTT News. Connect.
International Women's Day is indeed an important day on the calendar for all women, not just women in Trinidad and Tobago. It's 2019, we're seeing women in a lot of managerial positions. We're not just mere housewives anymore. We're seeing women as CEOs, as CFOs, prime ministers, and even presidents. Women should reflect and just, thank God for all of the opportunities that we have today.
Showcasing our TTT women there behind the scenes, some of them. Well, you know the face of Mahalia because she's on news, but we continue to do that throughout the course of the day and the month as we bring to you our women here at TTT, because remember, it's hashtag we are TTT, all of us together. This belongs to us, this TTT. And before I cross to my next guest, who I am so happy to have in studio, I just want to say a final hello to our Facebook followers and good morning to those of you on Talk City 91.1 FM. I forgot you today. I didn't talk to you today. So good morning. If you're in traffic right now, the best place to be is locked on to now. And of course, if you're watching us on YouTube from wherever you are in the world, we'll be happy to have you. Good morning to Julia Dupre, as well as Alistair, Martian, Robert, Keith, Ramjan, and Nicholas Roach, as well as Leonard Gordon, Trini Reds, and Lily Pound. Good morning to you guys. Alana Guevara. Just want to make sure that I get in as many names as possible. My next guest is the president of AFET, Yolan Agard Simmons. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Wonderful. So you're the president of AFET this year.
That's one president next week. We have an International Women's Day.
Yes. Of course. I love, everyone knows I love to hug. I'm toning down the dancing for Lent, but I love to hug. You know, I said that I would do that on the first day, and when I went to church after, a priest came up to me, he said, don't forget your toning. You said you were going to, I heard you and I was watch you. I don't believe you, but I watch you.
You're being monitored.
He doesn't believe that I will tone it down, but I'll do my best. So we're talking about International Women's Day, and AFET has been working in the vineyard for years, Yolan.
Since 2002.
And so many successes along the way. The project Suit Me Up and all of that. What's happening now with AFET?
So in terms of our plans for International Women's Day, the theme is, as you've gone throughout your program this morning, balance for better. And as a board, we thought, what better way than to provide some interesting perspectives of balance. And we are hosting our International Women's Day Women of Influence Awards. As you're aware, it's in its 10th year. It started in 2009. It's next Tuesday, the 12th, at 10:30 a.m. at the Hyatt Regency Hotel, where we honor and recognize 5 outstanding women who have demonstrated through their various endeavors, national spirit, business leader, social entrepreneur, spirit of, you know the thing. So we plan to celebrate and recognize these women, and Mrs. Sharon Rowley is our keynote address, or keynote speaker. So we're excited about that. But in terms of the actual day, which is today, we are hosting a movie fundraising premiere. I told someone, what better way to celebrate a day that represents women empowerment, or as Carrie said earlier on, women empowering others, than to sit, relax, and be entertained by a strong woman, Captain Marvel. So we know that movie premiered yesterday. So we're hosting this evening at Digital IMAX, 6 p.m. So for those of you who can make it, please join us.
And the funds that you raise would be for what?
It's for Women Development Fund, and we use that where we grant 2 bursaries every year to 2 deserving female students at the University of the West Indies.
Which ties into the mentorship that you do?
Of course.
Tell us about that.
So our mentorship program, it's for 15 to 17-year-old, and we're actually launching that this month, in the month of International Women's Day, where we target 15 to 17-year-old. We're partnering with the Ministry of Community Development, Culture and the Arts. Thank you, Minister Gatsby Dolly. And we are targeting this program, young girls from the area of Lower Santa Cruz. We're launching that on the 23rd of March.
And how does AFET go about empowering women on the whole, besides the mentorship program that you mentioned?
Okay, so women, and as I was sharing with you offset, when I joined AFET in 2008, the first meeting I had, I would have met with you and folks like Georgina Terry and Lara Quentrell. So the first step is, of course, our membership meetings, our monthly membership meetings. And at those meetings, we provide a safe space for women to interact with like-minded professional women, or women that they wish to aspire to become like. And we address as well topics that are pertinent to women and entrepreneurs. You were discussing with Vicky that the dynamics of the female executive is changing so much. So many of us have gone from moonlighting from our daylight jobs to our own business, and we're now fully into our own businesses. There's so many more female entrepreneurs, and accessing finance is a big issue. So we just January this year in our membership meeting addressed that issue in terms of how do you access finance. We collaborated with Netco when they came in and told them, or shared with our membership how you can develop a business plan. What are some of the tricks in the trade to make sure that your business plan is sufficiently exciting, that you land the finance that you're looking for, addressing the issue of marketing and branding your business, marketing, branding yourself, and many other. We also did one in February on protocol and etiquette, business communications and the like. So we provide practical interventions as well as the soft networking skills, and we know that the deals are cut, over the wine glass at the cocktail reception. So we also need to empower women to recognize that they need to embrace these new trends and recognize them for what they are and make it work for you.
But what I am very thrilled about is the fact that women are now supporting women in a way that we had never seen before. Forming organizations, associations, networks that help to support each other in business and especially when they launch out on their own. So congratulations to AFET.
Thank you very much.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to also demonstrate that the pose, we are encouraging persons to strike a pose, Balance for Better, and your artist, Anika Plowden, who's a former co-worker of mine.
Yes. If we can take in both of her paintings.
Yeah, her paintings actually have, they all have the arms outstretched.
The arms outstretched.
And this is it, strike a balance. Yeah, balance for better.
Balance for better.
So that's what we're doing in all of our photos for the month of March.
All right. So this is the pose. Balance for better. And Anika, you have it. We're going to be coming across to you in a bit. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yolande.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
President of AFET.
Yes.
For joining us here.
I'm
going to go across to Anika now. Yes.
Lisa, as we wrap up, in case anyone tuned in late, we took all Carnival costumes and we decided to use it to, create something beautiful that we can use 365 days in a year if we choose. Yeah. So this one was a red t-shirt and we're introducing some new terms, dye extraction. And that simply means you're going to take the color out from the original color that you have. So if it's a purple t-shirt, you add bleach with a bit of vinegar and the color comes out.
So how is that different from tie-dye?
Well, with tie-dye, you're adding color.
Okay.
With dye extraction, you are taking out the color.
Okay.
So if you have a black top and you get bleach on it, you just continue. You can use...
That's what they used to call acid wash?
Kinda.
Kinda. Okay.
So it was a red t-shirt. We dye extracted it and we got this almost pinky color. And then I took the costume from a client, from our Bannerville, this beautiful costume. And I took out the sequins and I added it on.
Okay.
So all of this, all these beautiful, still wet. And please, because the last time you
I got it on my clothes, Okay. So let's...
So we pulled all of these out from the costume.
Right.
And we stuck it on and it gives you this beautiful oriental look.
Bedazzled oriental look.
And when it dries, it's going to actually be glitter. So it's wet now. So when it's finished, it's going to...
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Anika Plowden, for bringing your art has been in our studios all morning and for bringing your talent and the work that you do. And congratulations and keep doing the work that you do.
Congratulations on being you, Lisa.
Thank you so much. We go across now to Tobago to an interview with Dr. Agatha Carrington. Again, all part of International Women's Day.
Balance for Better is not in any way isolated. Balance for Better is a pervasive theme that resonates throughout society. A society that is balanced makes for a better people, a better community. You may want to think that we are talking balance in terms of gender balance, and therefore we would speak about issues with respect to gender balance or gender equality, which qualifies the whole issue of balance in organization, because we really want a gender balanced world. We want a world in which persons can live, work, play, whether you be male, female, whether you be boy, girl. So last year, even though we spoke about Press for Progress, we infused gender in everything. This year, we're speaking about the balance, and we asked the communications people to have our staff position themselves. This is saying to us that if we were to position ourselves this way at the same level, it will allow for order in our society, order in our organization. And so the positioning and the messaging is important, but the continuation and building on that which we are talking about is more important. So that even though today is International Women's Day, and the theme is about balance or balance for the better, we think that one day is insufficient. We speak of it today. We are continuing each month because we think that this call to action is not a one-day event for us.
Hi, I'm Pastor Lisa Singh from Heavenly Grace Ministries in New York, and I want to take the opportunity to invite you to join me right here every Sunday morning at 7:30 a.m. We are starting a new series called The Beatitudes, and there is so much meat in this message that is going to transform your lives for the better. So I'm really excited to have you join me. I'm looking forward to it every Sunday, 7:30 a.m. right here. Be blessed.
JJ and Friends is mashing up prices this Carnival. Get $500 off all JJ and Friends educational systems. That's right, $500 off any of our educational products. So take advantage of this offer while stocks last. JJ and Friends, mashing up prices for Carnival.
Take that investment in their education and buy them all the jewelry and the toys later on, but ensure that you get JJ and Friends. It is really, really good.
So there you have it. A perfect solution, a great solution to educating your child in those formidable years.
I would encourage any parent to buy this product.
You are setting the future for your children.
I see a great improvement in my child.
I'm 100% satisfied with the JJ and Friends Phonics program.
It has changed my life. It has changed the life of my two sons.
I encourage you to do the same. Get this kit.
JJ and Friends, mashing up prices for Carnival. For more info, call 800-READ.
We are back, and it's now time for Fit on a Friday. With me is Glenda. Happy International Women's Day to you, Glenda.
Thank you so much.
We have an exciting workout, and we're just going to jump right into it.
Yes.
And this is something you can do at home, right? So you see we have some home equipment.
That's right.
So you lead, I follow.
Okay, so usually this is our water bottle workout.
Right? Water bottle workout.
Yeah, we're going to do a water bottle workout this morning. So we're going to use our trusty water bottles. This is like about 7 pounds. So it's actually a good resistance.
Nice.
So you don't always have to fill it. It's a half-filled one for me. Full one for you, Carrie.
Right? All right, I'll take the top one today.
And it's more for core today. So we're going to actually engage our core a lot into the workout today.
All right.
All right, so we're getting straight into it, and we're going into butter curtsies. So we're going to touch and switch. And we're just going to do 5 reps today.
All right, yeah.
Ready?
Touch, switch.
2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So that is our 5 curtsy, and then we're going to do the shuffle. So we're actually going to take the bottle, and we're going to shuffle just 5 steps to your side. 5 quick shuffles, touch, and a lunge.
All right, well, let's go.
That's a lot?
Yep. For those of you listening on radio, what we're doing is shuffling across to the left. Let's go.
Correct.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Touch.
Now we're ready to show the world who we are. Shine a light so everyone could see our identity. See the way we do what we do. When we bring our cultures together, we make each other better. Carifest.
The Caribbean region has a plethora of over 500 festivals to choose from. But there is one festival that stands out from the others in terms of its rich cultural tapestry, natural heritage, sheer vibrancy and reflection of all that is innately Caribbean. Carifesta.
Our cultures represent a unique fusion that emanates from our historical underpinnings. Since the first edition of Carifesta in Guyana in 1972, this Caribbean showcase has emerged as a 10-day mega Caribbean festival of arts, which we can all look forward to with great anticipation. Carifesta embodies Caribbean integration and it gives expression to the uniqueness of our Caribbean reality. It is here that the people of the region come together, commingling and creating one community and one people.
Trinidad and Tobago is very proud to host this mega performing arts and culture festival of the creme de la creme of Caribbean artistes and artists from August 16th to the 25th in 2019.
Culture and creative industries, they contribute significantly to the gross domestic product of member countries. Globally, it is believed that culture contributes about 3% of the global domestic product, some $2.2 trillion.
The Trinidad and Tobago Organizing Committee has been working assiduously to produce a Carifesta worthy of regional and international acclaim.
I think that Trinidad and Tobago is doing a tremendous job in preparing for the festival. I've been actively involved in planning at least the last 5 Carifestas. For this festival, the level of preparation is ahead of any I've seen so far.
As part of this promotion for 2019 is to try to encourage people who would have gone to North America and other places for their summer holidays to come to Carifesta itself, because it's going to be one of the rare opportunities to know another country and to know other countries in one place and at one time.
We promise you'll have a fantastic time.
With love to our beautiful Twin Islands for Carifesta 14.
We feel extremely honored to be representing the red, white and black, and this Carifesta 14 promises to be the most exciting yet.
We are looking forward to share all our culture, all our arts, all our music, our food, and we are excited to experience what the Caribbean has to bring to us as well.
Please come to Carifesta 2019, where we celebrate the arts together.
Yes. Come celebrate with us, yeah? Trinidad and Tobago.
Connect, share, invest.
Carifesta 14, Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Mahalia Joseph Horton, and this is News Now on TTT. Co-owner of the band Ronnie and Caro, Ronnie McIntosh, says he was not aware of the new criteria of the Band of the Year category and said transparency was needed. This after the NCC announced on Wednesday that medium band K2K Alliance, with their stained glass window, had won the overall Band of the Year title, which appeared as